is Minjung, and I'm 24 years old. I was born in Seoul, South Korea. I live in Palisades Park, New Jersey right now.
My name is Lynch. I'm 27 years old. I was born in Seoul, South Korea, and I live in Westport, Connecticut now.
For me, I'm a counselor. First year I was a TA, and then from then on, for about 5 years now, this is my 5th year, I'm doing a counselor job here.
I'm a head counselor here now for the girls. Prior to that, I was a counselor and an assistant counselor and a PA, but I've been coming to camp for 18 years. I was a camper before that. When I first started coming to camp, this was the first time I was around a large group of Korean Americans. I was adopted with my twin brother, and so at least I wasn't alone in my town, but I'd never spent more time with any others. So this was the first time I had ever been with a whole group of Koreans in my entire life. So it was both, when I drove up to camp, it was one of the scarier experiences of my life.
So I came to the United States when I was entering 6th grade. So I think it's maybe 11 years old, when I was 11 years old. My parents wanted my brother and I to have a better education, and it's just more free here, more open than Korea. So I think that was their main goal, to have a better life and better education for us.
I think I'm probably more comfortable with adoptees than I am with Koreans. And I think mostly that's because of my own insecurity. I don't speak any Korean. I took some in college, but didn't practice enough. And so I think there's a little bit of, I wouldn't use the word shame per se, but almost like an embarrassment and reluctance to go and I think push myself into that group, though they are extremely welcoming. So it's my own insecurity that's stopping me from doing that, and not their attitude or behavior toward me. For me as an adoptee, I had a very hard time calibrating where I fell on the pretty, not pretty standard. My parents and family would be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and I was like, "I look so different from you." I don't know if that's an empirical statement or if you're saying that because you love me, or and so it was obviously an awkward, as puberty is an awkward stage for anybody. Was really awkward because they're like, "Oh, just look at your aunts and your mother, and just you'll find out what you're going to look like." And I said, "I have no idea what they look like."
I'm very proud that I'm Korean, and Korean culture. I want to pass it on to my kids, and my kids have to pass it on to their kids. That's how I think of it. And the language is important. The culture is very important to me. So I believe that Koreans should make the effort to learn their culture too, even if you're an adoptee or you're born here or you're born in Korea.
It's come into much sharper focus for me that I want to be passing on from the little of what I know of Korean culture from, or maybe not little, of what I know of Korean culture from this camp, onto my kids now that I'm getting married. It's I'm going to have children. I have to think about what that's going to mean for them and what kind of worldview I want them to have and how I would want to have them see the world. So I think coming to camp allowed me to have a much wider lens of the spectrum of people.
My name is Minjung Kim, and this is my Korean American story.
My name is Lynch. My Korean name is Park Judy, and this is my Korean American story.